Welcome back to Harris Cherokee Casino Field and the Infinite Energy Arena. Alongside Brian Duff, I'm Mark Zinno. Tonight, as the Georgia Swarm take on the New England Black Wolves in what will be a pivotal match to decide if this Georgia Swarm team can make the postseason. Brian, as we get our fans acquainted with the sport of indoor lacrosse, let's give them a quick rundown of the rules.
Well, certainly 4 quarters is the norm in this game, unless, of course, you need to get beyond 60 minutes of play for some sudden death overtime. We are seeing high-scoring games across the league. Average is 25 goals, and, of course, this Swarm team coming off a big win over Colorado when they scored 17. They'd love to see that trend continue.
Taking a look at Evan Kirk, one of the best goaltenders in the league. He leads the NLL in save percentage and overall saves. He'll be a tough guy to contend with tonight.
He's second in the league in wins as well. He seems to have really found a groove with this Black Wolves team.
And taking a look at head coach Glenn Clark. 5 championships as a player, no stranger to winning in the National Lacrosse League, and certainly he's got his team poised as the New England's already clinched a postseason berth. Taking a look at Brody McDonald's, he was huge in net last week for the Swarm against Colorado.
Key to this team, Georgia, of course, keep the opposition if you can to 10 and under. They've been perfect in that situation.
And head coaching the Swarm, Ed Como, on the bench right there, and he's got to take this young team and mature them quickly as they try to clinch a postseason berth.
That's what it's all about. I mean, he says nobody in the league wants to hear how young we are, but we just have to believe in our group that we are going to mature each and every week.
So it's the Swarm and the New England Black Wolves. To take a look at the officials right now, crew chief Ian Garrison, assistant referee Ryan Fowler, and shot clock operator Trey Towery will be handling the 30-second shot clock, much similar to basketball, 30-second shot clock. And we are ready and set to go here from Harris Cherokee Casino Field and Infinite Energy Arena. Taking the face-off for the Swarm, obviously Jordan McIntosh, and handling the duties Ryan Hotaling from New England. And the ball loose on the turf and finally picked up Well, not picked up yet. Finally picked up by the Swarm right there, and they'll come out on offense and a quick check. And the ball is turned over right back to New England. And obviously the big star from New England that the Swarm will have to contend with is Sean Evans, second leading scorer in the NLL.
Number 15 starts the night 14 points out of the league scoring lead.
Swarm come out on offense as we get a look at Joel White setting things up and then heading to the bench. And there's Kyle Matisse. Interesting to know Kyle back in with the original offensive set. Last week, Coach Como kind of left him off and went with a little bit of a different rotation as we get a shot from Randy Stotts and a save from Kirk. And a rebound goes back out to the Swarm, so they'll get a fresh 30 as we take a look at Lyle Thompson with the ball now trying to work inside. But Kyle Matisse back with his normal crew, was shot wide from Johnny Powless. And it was great to see Powless get back in the score sheet last week.
Yeah, and amidst a group that seemed to carry it. That's the beauty of this Swarm team right now, is the balanced attack, and nobody feels like they have to be the guy.
Swarm with 6 left to shoot as a long rebound goes out near midfield, and Matisse will just dump it close in on net, and the shot clock will expire. And New England will take over off the turnover and picking it up quickly in the middle of the field, running out and setting up their offense.
Evans
is the aforementioned Sean Evans, who is just an absolute beast in every way possible. He's got 102 points in the year. As I mentioned, second in the league in scoring. As a shot is wide that hits the netting, and they'll retain the possession here.
First touch there for McDonald.
And now Evans comes around a screen with a low shot that is deflected and does not touch anything but the net. So now the Swarm will take over, but
first penalty.
We're going to get a penalty here, and we will
believe it's a hold.
Let Ian Garrison figure it out, as it looks like Drew Petkoff heading to the box.
Georgia, number 56, 2 minutes, holding the stick.
So Drew Petkoff will go off for 2 minutes right now, and the special teams for the Swarm have been really a problem for them all year long. They have the worst penalty kill in the league. The power play for the Black Wolves, third best at 53.7%.
You would expect it with a guy like Evans for sure, and keep an eye on Crowley too.
And Crowley, you mentioned 16 power play assists. That leads the New England Black Wolves in that category. And here's Buchanan as New England works the ball around to Evans for a low shot to save by McDonald, but the rebound picked up by Kevin Crowley, and another save from Brody. That's twice tested on the power play, and he comes up big. That is a huge lift. Jason Noble pulls it up, and short-handed shot attempt from Shane Jackson is wide. Now, see, I would have thought they would have kind of slowed that down and tried to kill a little bit more clock on the penalty, as we got about a minute 15 left.
Especially after last week, they managed to do a decent job in the eyes of the coaching staff comparative to how they'd been at killing penalties throughout the year. So you'd like to see them take advantage of a possession.
And the danger in trying to do that, obviously, Brian, is that if you miss, you give up a transition goal where you're already short-handed. And here is Evans off a rebound back to Crowley. That shot is wide, and the long rebounds keep coming out to the Black Wolves, but it has not hit the post or the goalie yet, so the shot clock about to expire, and we get a shot clock violation even though Brody stopped the shot.
Well, Brody seems to be extremely calm in his positioning right now, and that's the key from all aspects of the Swarm right now. Don't overreact to things. Don't give them too many easy looks. The coaching staff certainly felt like that's been a bit of a problem for them this year.
Oh, and a short-handed goal by Johnny Powless. Powless got out in a great spot, flipped it behind his head, and beat Evan Kirk.
You know, Powless has been so good on the power play this year, and then you just mentioned being able to find a lane. That is a beautiful behind-the-back look from Powless, coming off a 3-goal game himself, which speaks to that balanced attack we're talking about. What a start for the Swarm.
Powless has had some highlight SportsCenter-type goals this season. Add that one to the list, as the shorthanded tally gives the Swarm the early 1-0 lead. Still 30 seconds left in the penalty, and with the Swarm picking up the loose ball, they can kill this thing, but let's see how aggressive they decide to play this, Brian.
Yeah, possessions are so key, and there's an unfortunate turnover, and now one last rush with the man up for New England.
And you mentioned the unfortunate turnover because this team can score very, very quickly, as we saw in the 2 previous meetings.
I mean, Evans alone has 18 points in the 2 games previous this year.
Now Evans coming around a screen with a low shot that's deflected and picked up, and now we'll get a breakaway chance for Jordan McIntosh, out all alone. Evans chasing behind, a shot and a save from Evan Kirk. Jordan McIntosh, you don't get many of those in box lacrosse. As a former hockey guy or a current hockey guy, you know you salivate for moments like that.
Yeah, but guys like McIntosh who take face-offs do find themselves in some of those situations where they get to run the floor. I'm not sure how much gas he had in the tank on that one, though.
Back on the defensive end, a 1-0 lead for the Swarm here. Under 11 minutes left into first, and a picked-off pass by Joel White.
Well, that makes up for the earlier turnover as they transition up floor.
And a quick give to Chad Tutton. Shot and a save from Kirk. Diving shot from Chad Tutton. And those are the transition goals that really benefited them last week, Brian.
And that's what this team feels it can be better than some other teams at. Not necessarily relying on 6 key offensive guys, using those transition guys to be two-way players and run the floor and do it effectively.
Fast start here for the Swarm offensively. Very aggressive by Coach Eddie Como to kind of put this team in position to have a must-win game, as a shot is saved by Brody McDonald and a rebound picked up by the Swarm.
You know, they're doing a good job on Evans. That's not a dangerous area where he's shooting from for the most part. So good start from a defensive standpoint.
So now the Swarm will set things up offensively. Under 10 minutes left in the first quarter. They lead 1-0. Coming around the screen right now is Kyle Matisse. And shot to goal! Wow! Kyle Matisse, not a big goal guy, usually does the work with the assist, but took advantage here.
I'm more impressed with the footwork and the dexterity trying to stay out of the crease. Boy, oh boy, he was right on the doorstep and then went up and was able to somewhat cross-handed put that shot away.
Beat him 5-hole. Evan Kirk, as I mentioned, best goalie in the league in save percentage and total saves, has been beaten twice here early in the Swarm. Have a 2-0 lead due to their aggressiveness. 9:50 left in the first quarter. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on Fox Sports Southeast.
Get ready to enter the hive.
Saturday, April 30th is Fan Appreciation Night at Infinite Energy Arena as the Swarm wrap up their regular season against Vancouver.
Shot and score!
Catch the last game of the Swarm's inaugural season, then join the players on the field for autographs and photos. Tickets available at georgiaswarm.com.
Matisse for a goal!
Powered by Harris Cherokee Casino, Georgia Swarm Professional Lacrosse. You'll feel the buzz long after the final buzzer.
My little brother's birthday is today. I have an idea.
Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our app, go online to westernunion.com, or visit one of over 51,000 agent locations today.
That was easy.
This is moving money for better.
We give some credit to just a threading needle pass. I mean, that's
what this game's all about. Yeah. You know, and I mean, it's just you never grow tired of the beautiful skill that's on display, especially when punctuated like that.
So the Swarm will start out on offense coming out of the timeout. Again, they lead 2-0.
Oh no, what do we got here? Pulling the goalie.
Yeah, the Swarm have pulled the goalie for an extra attacker.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
Just a little extra wrinkle, get the defenders on their toes.
Well, it speaks to the aggressiveness that Coach Comas had a shot and a save from Evan Kirk right there. But it speaks to the aggressiveness that Coach Comas is trying to start out with the ball in the offensive zone, try to use the extra man as an attacker.
Aggressiveness and confidence, which is exactly what you spoke of coming off the win over previously the best team in the NLL.
Ball loose on the turf in front of the Swarm bench, and now an outlet pass to Jesse King, sneaking between the two defenders for a shot and a save from Kirk, and as the net comes off the moorings. Another breakaway opportunity, the third one so far for the Swarm.
And I think King is enormous in his presence within this matchup. Keep in mind, in the most lopsided game between these two earlier this year, as you get another look at King, and good save by Kirk to not only stop it originally, but hold his ground amidst all that traffic. But King missed the first meeting between these two. It ended up a 5-goal margin. Next time around, 1-goal game between these two. And we've seen King just continue to elevate his game. And, you know, so many young guys, first-year players and all the rest. It's so impressive what he's doing.
You mentioned King in the second game, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. As we get the Swarm headed to a power play. And Sean Evans having a discussion with Ian Garrison.
He likes to discuss things with just about everybody on the floor.
He's a little bit of a talker.
The motor doesn't stop.
So the Swarm head to the power play, 32 of 70 on the year, 45.7%.
5 for 5 versus Colorado.
Yes, and 3 for 9 in the 2 meetings combined against New England. But that power play, bottom in the league right now, as they'll try to open this up to a 3-0 lead. A shot and a save by Kirk. Powless with another one, a good scoring opportunity early on in the power play. And there's a clean check right on Jordan Hall, and he knocks the ball loose. And that is Jesse King doing the dirty work right there. Jason Noble now fighting in the corner for the ball. King picks it up. And they'll wait to get the appropriate players on the offensive end here.
Hall's just a good pickup for that New England team. 2-time champ, former #1 pick.
And Hall has only played 9 games for New England this year. Picked him up about a quarter of the way through the season. And he's certainly been an effective offensive player, 41 points in 9 games. The Swarm continue on the power play as we approach 60 seconds left. King flips it back and cannot connect with Powless. And the ball will go back over midline. It'll be a violation, and the Black Wolves can pick up and start. But the refs are going to whistle this and have a dead ball start.
And or throw a little pick themselves on the play. That was pretty good.
And so with under a minute left, the Black Wolves have a chance to kill off some of this penalty here. Black Wolves 9 shorthanded goals on the year. And here is Crowley being checked up on by David Earl, and a save by Brody McDonald. Great shot attempt there by John Ranigan, but Brody was standing right there.
You see why Crowley's been able to amass the point totals that he has this year. That was just a terrific feed.
And continuing as we're under 30 seconds on the power play, 15 left to shoot. So unfortunately the rebound off the save gave New England more of a chance to kill this power play off, and looks like they'll be content to let the shot clock run down and dump it in the corner.
Well, this is where Evans loves to control the game where he can and then give it back a little, which he's doing with Noble right now.
And there is David Earl sprinting into the offensive zone, but he's going to have to wait and pull up as the penalty expires. Teams are now even as we see Brett Manny run right into the defensive set. 13 left to shoot for the Swarm. And here comes Stotts working inside, flips it back to Thompson, and his shot was deflected wide. And Shane Jackson picks up the rebound, a fresh 30. And here comes Miles working again. Miles has really come on offensively as of lately.
I believe he's had a point in every game that he has played in this year.
And Shane Jackson tries to flip it to Powless in the middle, and we get a violation. There'll be a turnover.
You see this team all the time, Mark, and obviously you can never stop talking about its youth, but when you have the Jacksons and the Tuttons and the Powlesses and the Stotts of the world, it has to take some of the pressure off the Thompsons, and I then believe that the greater picture becomes that much clearer for the group as to how to get it done.
Well, you speak to, and the crease violation will get the Swarm the ball back, but you speak to the youth of the whole thing. When you look at this team, the scoring is really spread out. A lot of these teams have a dominant player like a Sean Evans and then a secondary player. The Swarm have a lot of guys who are chipping in all around offensively. And a shot from Stotts off the bar. He had Evan Kirk beaten. A long rebound comes out. That was a laser from Randy Stotts. Evan Kirk looks a little slow tonight.
It might be the speed with which the Swarm's playing.
Well, that could be the other part of it. 17 left to shoot, and that was Lyle Thompson with the shot and a save. And we get a fresh 30 again for the Swarm.
Yeah.
And the Swarm are on the power play. You see that box defense that New England is using here. And that pass intercepted. And New England tries to dump it in transition, and wisely picked off right there by Ethan O'Connor to save the possession. Not only would it have been if he misses a transition goal where the New England offensive player would have had a chance to go in all alone on Brody McDonald, but also keeps the possession for the Swarm.
This power play's looked a lot better than the first one.
Stotts with another shot and deflected, save wide. Rebound back to the Swarm. And now here comes Powless, he scores! This looks like the Palace we saw early on in the year that was in the top 10 in scoring in the league. And just beats Kirk over the shoulder.
I'll tell you what, and I think what's most impressive about that, Mark, is you look at it from behind the shooter. I think the side that he chose to shoot was the more covered of the side, if you will, from Evan Kirk. But he believed in the spot that he was trying to hit, and Paulus delivers.
That was a power play goal for Paulus. And it gives it a 3-0 lead to the Swarm. Another face-off won by McIntosh. And this has been all Georgia all first quarter here as we're approaching 5 minutes left.
Exactly what they needed, because they firmly believed in themselves the way they came out of that last meeting with Colorado.
Shane Jackson with a feed to Matisse, and he couldn't connect. Chad Tutton picks up the loose ball. 9 left to shoot. Over to Stotts, working inside, and a low shot bounces wide, and it looks like we're going to get a shot clock violation as the Swarm just dump it in the corner, and they'll get their defensive guys out there. The Swarm have been aggressive. It has paid off. They have a 3-0 lead over the New England Black Wolves. This is Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on Fox Sports Southeast.
This is by far his best save of the night.
And McDonald picking right up where he left off in the win over the Colorado Mammoth here at Harris Cherokee Casino Field and the Infinite Energy Arena. Mark Zinno, Brian Duff with you as the Swarm have an early 3-0 lead here as the first quarter has 4:47 left in it. And the Swarm have done everything right so far. They've been aggressive, they've been calculating, and they've made the most of a lot of scoring opportunities.
And they've outscored their opponents 13-5 over the last 2 quarters and change going back to that Colorado game. It's really a big wave that they're riding right now.
Right now, Sean Evans with a 0 in the stat sheet. Most important thing so far as he sends it over to his teammate. Now gets it back and a low shot deflected. Never made it towards Brody McDonald. And Evans picked it right back up. Now dumps it to Crowley. A shot is wide, goes off the back of the net and picked up by New England once again. Shot clock still winding down. 5 left. Crowley in a shot and a save from McDonald and picked up by Georgia. Just a very solid defensive set.
What a set by Jason Noble as well. Remember, he got into it a little bit with Evans earlier. There was he with the shot block and then just the continued persistence on Evans to keep him annoyed, if you will.
Swarm on offense, 15 left to shoot, and a great scoring opportunity for Kyle Matisse again, but it looked like he just kind of tripped and fell down, couldn't connect on the pass.
Not exactly the quick stick we're used to seeing in that position.
Yeah, the beauty of the one goal he just scored before, equally matched by the ugliness of that. But you know, Kyle is one of the biggest guys out on the field, and he's really a jack of all trades for the Swarm.
Right. I mean, I don't want to stretch the comparison too much, but the size when you get in tight like that reminds me of Dan Dawson, and obviously Matisse has been more of a playmaker this year, which has been impressive.
And a shot clock violation on the Black Wolves will give the Swarm the ball back. Here they come out on offense. Here's Jordan McIntosh working his way into the offensive zone, dumps it back for Shane Jackson over to Thompson. And Stocks, you got all the young guys out on the floor right now. And here's Jackson with a shot and score! You know, Brian, that's a soft goal. I mean, it's just a very straight-ahead shot that needs to be stopped. I mean, great for Shane, but, you know, this isn't exactly a shot that a lot of lacrosse players take.
No, and I think your assertion earlier of what you were seeing, either mechanically, emotionally, whatever, in Evan Kirk, I think was clearly on display on that one. And Jackson, like his teammate Paulus, are now a member of the 30-goal club.
Face-off violation by the Black Wolves gives the Swarm the ball back. It's 4-0, and I'm sure that Glenn Clark and his team have to be shell-shocked right now.
They certainly do, Coach. They're coming off an unreal weekend where they scored 2 victories, including a come-from-behind win 7-1 down to Saskatchewan to prevail in that one.
Great scoring opportunity by the Swarm, saved by Kirk, and now New England comes back out on offense. And they'll try to set it up there. Sean Evans sitting in the corner, dumping it back towards midfield. And Crowley sends it in. Evans gets it back, trying to come around the screen. Cross court to Crowley, cross field rather. And it goes into the Georgia bench. And the Swarm will get the ball that was off a shot from New England.
Give it up for the defenders again. Noble and Belisle really pressuring the key shooters in those situations.
Swarm have been very efficient on offense so far.
And let's not forget, I mean, New England is gunning for first place in the Division II. They're only a win back of Buffalo. So
both teams with a lot on the line here this evening. And 7 left to shoot for the Swarm. Dumped in the middle to Miles Thompson, rather. And the shot did not hit the net and went into the netting behind the board, so it's a turnover. There's Brett Bucktooth. Buchanan, or Saunders rather. Now Sean Evans waiting for the right moment, and low shot and a save from McDonald, picked up by Ethan O'Connor. I'm not sure if Brody knew where the rebound went, knew he stopped it. We have about 90 seconds left here in this first quarter. There's Matisse in the corner coming towards the top, feeding it across. Dumped in the middle. A shot and a save by Kirk as he gets checked.
what a pass by Jackson that set that up.
That was Jesse King, and he paid the price for it. Swarm have had a lot of opportunities really right in front of Evan Kirk offensively.
Yeah, that Thompson one, it was just a bounce shot that got way too much bounce, but he had the absolute right idea.
There's Crowley over to Evans. Evans gets it back, dumps it to Crowley. Tries to get it in the middle to Jordan Hall, and it's deflected away by the Swarm, and a shot clock violation will give the Swarm the ball back. Defense has been flat out outstanding.
That's 11, Joel White. We talked about him a number of times already, and again, it's great positioning, but it's that sticks up defense mentality that made it a little easier there.
And we're going to get a penalty on the Swarm. It was a delay game, and Kyle Matisse, the in-home player, will... No, I'm sorry. That is actually Lyle Thompson who's headed to the box. I guess it was in transition there, Brian. But the last 45 seconds of this quarter will be spent on the penalty kill for the Swarm, and you really want to hold out here. I mean, it's more emotional than anything else, because you know goals are going to be scored in this game, but you've played so well the first quarter, you want to end it on a good note. Ball sends it back towards the top. Crowley flips it around to Evans. A shot and a save from McDonald.
Carbon copy to the earlier one. Really sound positionally.
McDonald has been great getting to stop those low shots. Has been great so far tonight. Evans lurking. Now back to Crowley. A shot and a goal right there from Pat Saunders.
Yeah, I had a feeling when you mentioned him about 25, 30 seconds ago. I hadn't heard the name Saunders yet, and if anybody was going to snap it, because it seems like the shots have been coming from the righties, there one of the lefties comes through, and Saunders gets it done.
Yeah, Saunders now 63 points, 36th goal of the year. He comes to the night 18th in the NLL in scoring, 3rd on the team, and he gets the New England Black Wolves on the board with just under 10 seconds left. And they've played so well this first quarter, and quickly McIntosh with a face-off win sneaks into the zone. And now with a shot and a save from Kirk, that was a great scoring opportunity in the final seconds of the first quarter. A one in which the Swarm dominated for the better part of 15 minutes. They have a 4-1 lead over the New England Black Wolves in a must-win game. We'll come back with the second quarter right after this on Fox Sports Southeast.
Yes! 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 This is some of the best lacrosse on the planet right here at Mohegan Sun Arena. People say no sport on earth can match the intensity of indoor lacrosse. They call it the fastest game on 2 feet. Do I agree? Haha, what do you think? Say yes to savings with the New England Black Wolves. Tickets start at just $15 for pro indoor lacrosse at Mohegan Sun Arena. Yes, indeed!
Not many things can be achieved in no time with minimum effort and no sweat at all.
I know just the gift.
But Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our 4-star app. Go online to westernunion.com or visit one of our over 51,000 agent locations in the U.S. today. This is moving money for better.
Get ready to enter the hive.
Saturday, April 30th is Fan Appreciation Night at Infinite Energy Arena as the Swarm wrap up their regular season against Vancouver. Catch the last game of the Swarm's inaugural season, then join the players on the field for autographs and photos. Tickets available at georgiaswarm.com.
Monetize for a goal!
Powered by Harris Cherokee Casino, Georgia Swarm Professional Lacrosse. You'll feel the buzz long after the final buzzer.
This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League.
Harris Cherokee Casino Field and the Infinite Energy Arena, where the Swarm have a 4-1 lead over the New England Black Wolves after 15 minutes, and they dominated, and the stats show it.
They've done it at even strength with a pair. They've scored a shorthanded goal. They have a power play goal. That's offset by the 1 tally by New England on the power play. But overall, 2-to-1 shot advantage. Shot attempts are 2-to-1 as far as off goal. And there's so much to like. I think it starts with the defense that's been played in front of McDonald. He's been sound. Now opportunity to keep it going. You said it best, Mark. Goals are going to happen in this game, especially power play goals for a team like New England. So you shake it off, you move on with a 3-goal lead here into the second.
Ed Como right there, got to be pleased with the start so far as Jordan McIntosh and Ryan Hotaling take the face-off. As McIntosh has done a fantastic job. He did a great job last week against Colorado, giving the Swarm extra possessions by winning a whole bunch of face-offs. Loses that one there, but nonetheless, he has been outstanding for them, getting them those extra possessions. And we are going to get a delay of game penalty here.
New England penalty, bench minor, illegal substitution.
Yeah, I thought they got him out the door too quick there, and great opportunity now for the Swarm.
So Ryan Hotaling, who's the in-home player, will head to the box for 2 minutes. And that is not the way Glenn Clark wanted to start his second quarter, but the Swarm hopefully could take advantage and open it back up to a 4-goal lead.
Indeed, and I mean, you speak to the power play already that was so successful against Colorado, and obviously most recently it was Johnny Paulus, who's got a shorty and a power play goal so far in this game.
Teams have switched sides. See the two Thompson brothers with the distinctive ponytails out on the floor right now. And Stotts tries to flip it backwards, and it did not connect, but Miles is there to pick up the loose ball. Randy Stotts gets it back, sends it over to Paulus, and a quick give and go to Miles that is saved from Evan Kirk, and then he picks up his own rebound.
A great little scoop by Lyle to keep that going.
And so the Swarm will get a fresh 30 as we're under a minute and a half left in this man advantage. And a shot from Thompson is deflected and saved, and the rebound goes right back to the Swarm. And Paulus with another low, hard shot. And that shot clock keeps resetting, and the Swarm keep hanging on. And this defensive set here has got to get tired. Eventually, got to believe that's going to benefit the Swarm here.
Beautiful ball movement.
And Paulus with another low shot, long, high rebound, and picked out of the air by Randy Stotts. Give some credit right there to Shane Jackson for fighting for that ball. And Stotts with the beneficiary, he hit the post again.
Now they got the reset.
I don't think I've seen this all year long where a team has been able to hold on to the ball for an entire penalty in the offensive zone without scoring. Shane Jackson scores! Spoke a little bit too soon, Brian, as Georgia had to score. How many opportunities did they have?
Well, you said it. Eventually the D is going to wear down in this situation. Now, we got a little something because Manny popped Thompson right at the end there as that goal was going in. So there was a delayed celebration from Miles Thompson as he picked himself up off the floor. It's going to result in some coincidental penalties, we presume. But the ball movement was absolutely brilliant. And, you know, you're asking how...
After the goal, the fouls. New England, number 13, 2 minutes, dead ball foul. Georgia, number 83, 2 minutes, dead ball foul, 2 minutes, dead ball foul.
So there's the explanation of it from Ian Garrison, but back to the goal itself. And here's the extracurricular stuff as you see Stotts.
Yeah, well, he obviously saw the original hit on Thompson that almost drove him into the goalpost and had the retaliation, and obviously by the sounds of it got the extra 2 as well.
I think it was that last shove right there that put him over the edge, but nonetheless.
What you were saying with, you know, with the power play, how could it be so dominant? I think it all goes back to last week. When you go 5 for 5 against a top tier team in the league, you come out into this week believing that, you know, all is right, and their movement was just perfect on that power play.
And we have a second Swarm player in the box, so New England has a man advantage. We did not get the explanation from the officials.
The 4 for Stotts, so they bring an extra guy in just to serve the extra 2, if you will. So,
oh, I got you. Okay,
yep.
So Stotts got a double minor.
Yep.
And they're going to give a man advantage, and New England takes advantage as Pat Saunders scores again.
Saunders has 2.
So the Swarm giveth and they take it away, if you will, or take it away and then giveth. Regardless, it is a 5-2 game. As you see, they work this power play beautifully. Cuts right in the middle, Saunders, and beats Brody McDonald down low.
Yeah, they've done such a perfect job seemingly closing off all the lanes for Evans early on in that first quarter and throughout the first quarter. But now you're seeing the secondary option that exists for New England. And his name is Pat Saunders. He's been doing it all year, and their power play is now 2 for 3.
So we're back to even strength here as Stotts and Manny remain in the box to finish out their 2-minute coincidental penalties together. And the Swarm with a 5-2 lead come out on offense. And I tell you, the Swarm, the way they play, don't really want to get involved in that extracurricular stuff. There are some games that you can do it and it can help you. Right now, the way they're playing, they don't need to get involved in that.
Agreed, wholeheartedly.
Pass could not connect down low as it was intended for Johnny Paulus, and New England comes back out on offense.
Keep in mind, still one more meeting left between these two to round out what is a 4-game regular season series. That'll come up obviously a week from now.
New England's won the first 2 meetings. First one in rather convincing fashion, second one in heartbreaking fashion, as it was Kevin Crowley scoring with 4 seconds left in a 16-15 victory for New England. Sprinting down the middle of the field, dumps it back to Saunders, and Saunders will wait for help. As the Black Bulls have 15 left to shoot. We'll take a look at Rannigan in the corner. Evans tries to dump the middle of Crowley, and a save from McDonald. Not sure if that hit the post or not, but nonetheless it didn't go in. And Brody's standing up tall right there.
Yeah, I think it got all shoulder.
Here's Petkoff giving it to Matisse. This is an enjoyable contest. Kyle Matisse standing up against Zach Reed. Matisse has got like 6 inches on him. Sheldon Burns picks up the rebound. New England comes out on offense. And Burns just waiting. And now we got a turnover and a breakout. Sprinting in, Chad Tutton all alone, and he scores!
Crease.
They're saying no goal, crease violation. And Tutton immediately signaling for Como to throw the flag. Tutton immediately was signaling Coach Como to throw the flag, and he's waiting.
And it seemed like the Swarm were waiting because New England deposits one at the other end. That flag is on the floor.
Now this is going to be interesting how this all shakes out. So goal from New England.
Glenn Clark doesn't like this at all.
Tutton seems so convinced that that was a goal as we get a look at it. Sprinting in all alone. Now it's a question of whether he stepped on the line when he shot it. Because
yeah, that toe was awfully close.
As the rule stands, the ball has to be over the goal line before you land in the crease. But you cannot have your foot on any part of the white when you release the ball, otherwise it's a crease violation.
You can see Evans seeking a clarification here too.
Whether his team's
goal is
going
to count. Exactly, if this one doesn't, right?
So Ian Garrison, the crew chief, going to take a look at this. And you saw the side angle. The ball certainly beat Evan Kirk over the goal line before Tutton landed. It's just a question of whether Tutton took off without his foot on any part of the white. And much like the NFL, we talk about indisputable evidence. Here's the overhead angle that we'll get a first look at to see if whether Tutton was on the line or not. That is very close. It's so hard to see. And much like the NFL rule,
I don't think he is.
There looks like a sliver of green there, but that is awfully.
And when he leans forward,
close.
you know, as he starts going, does it not?
Well, this whole NFL rule is, you know, indisputable evidence comes into play. And remember, it was called no goal. If it was called a goal, you're more likely to have it stay a goal. But what we're looking at right now, because it was no goal, they'll have to look at this from the side again. This is not an easy call for Ian Garrison by any stretch.
No, and the one thing that's frustrating about this, if it doesn't go their way, is you don't like being caught up in what had just happened. You would have liked to have seen the defense and everybody collectively refocus, and that clearly didn't happen because there was a complete breakdown.
Mentally, more than anything.
Exactly.
Here we get another look at Tutton sprinting in, which may help us out here.
You know what? I think that's a great view. I don't think he did. I don't think he clipped the line.
Well, the official's standing right there, and that's.
But he's. Yeah.
That is Ian Garrison, and he's waving it off immediately.
Well, that's.
I mean, from that angle, it looks like he's touching the white.
Yeah.
And Ian Garrison is standing literally right next to him, so I have a hard time believing that Ian Garrison is going to tell himself that he got it wrong.
But is that fully foot down there, or are you seeing a blur of an elevated foot that then comes down?
Well, Ian Garrison will give us the official word.
After review, the call on the field for the Georgia goal stands. No goal, New England goal stands.
So a double whammy, if you will. And Tutton felt like he had it. His coach, Ed Como, backed his player up, and it did not work in his favor. And on the other end, was it Sean Evans who scored?
I'll be honest with you. I believe it was.
I didn't even see it, to be perfect. I was watching Tutton signal vociferously to his coach to throw the flag, as were his teammates. And I turned my head and I saw the ball in the back of the net, so we'll get that sorted out here in a moment. It is a 5-3 lead right now for the Swarm, as McIntosh and O'Towling take the faceoff with 10:17 left. And it's unfortunate because you mentioned it, Brian. That's a mental breakdown by the Swarm.
And now the biggest opportunity lies ahead here, just to regroup. And they had done such a nice job double teaming on D to set up Tutton for that clear breakaway to begin with. That's what I loved about it.
It's the old adage, play to the whistle. I mean, there was no whistle, so you got to keep playing. And the Swarm stopped, and Shane Jackson with another low, hard shot. Kirk with the save. And Sheldon Burns picks up the rebound. And now we get a picked off pass attempt here by the Swarm. And it's McIntosh, but he's going to slow it down and wait for his teammates.
It was Evans on the goal, by the way.
It was Evans, okay, so his first of the game. Here come the Swarm on offense. Kyle Thompson working around the screen, has to flip it back in the corner. Jackson gets it off the boards. Dumps it, tried to connect with McIntosh, who was right there, but did not happen. And so we are going to get a stoppage in play. So the Swarm now with a lead. They look like they're heading to the power play when we come back on Fox Sports Southeast. And as the Swarm tried to protest the call, on the other end, we see Sean Evans taking advantage and Brody McDonald not even paying attention because he was looking at whether they were going to stop play for a challenge play.
That and or maybe a little hidden ball trick going on the other side, because I do believe his focus was off to the left there. So well played by Evans.
And now the Swarm out on the power play, and Stotts hit the post. That's his third time tonight where he's hit either the post or the crossbar. So the Swarm hoping to make this a 3-goal game again as New England has clawed their way back into it. Stotts sends it up top to Jesse King off Evan Kirk, and they get a fresh 30 after it goes off the netting. You got to believe Stotts is finally going to break through at some point in time.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the game. He's all over it.
Palace with another shot that's wide, and it was deflected, so they get a fresh 30 here. Looked like it was wide, but it was deflected. Stotts over the back of the goal, and a long rebound goes into the stands, and the Swarm will turn it over with 1:04 left in the power play.
Stotts does have 3 helpers in this game already, including setting up that first goal. Get the Swarm going in the right direction.
New England going to try to kill some of this power play as you're looking at Brett Bucktooth with the ball. And Saunders sends it on the other side of the field. And a low shot right there from Crowley. Off the boards and picked up by the Swarm. And they get a long outlet pass. All alone in front. Score! Shane Jackson with a hat trick.
That is transition. Wow, was he wide open. And after all that time spent in the zone, trying to wind down that penalty kill, New England gets caught unaware. Perfect change. Sees Shane Jackson wide open. All the time in the world to set up. And boy, does he pick that spot. Kirk got a little piece, but he was able to go stick side.
And just credit the vision on the field from these guys to be able to see Shane Jackson streaking out alone and create that transition goal. His 3rd of the night, now has 32 on the year. Came into the game tied for 22nd in the league in scoring. And the Swarm back to a 3-goal lead. And the Swarm have controlled the pace for the entire game so far. It has been their game. They've controlled the tempo and the flow.
If they can settle into a bit of a 5-on-5 game here, I absolutely think it would work to their advantage.
Matisse!
I guess he grew tired of the assists.
Kyle Matisse just standing point-blank range, let a laser go, and he beat Kirk over his left shoulder.
You know, we're talking about a guy who had just 8 goals. I say 8, but it was complemented by a team-high 40 assists coming in, and Matisse has just found himself all around it tonight. That's a beautiful release for his 10th of the year and 2nd of the night.
So the Swarm back to a 4-goal lead. They started out this game 4-0.
What an effort by Belisle there at the last second.
Yeah, just to kind of throw, it looked like it was Sean Evans off his game and create the shot, or cause the shot to go wide. And the Swarm back on offense. Here's Randy Stotts. Sends across to Powell. Shot was wide off the board. Stotts gets the rebound, dumps in the middle, and another goal! Beautiful passing by the Swarm. Lyle Thompson, the beneficiary, after Stotts gets the rebounds off the boards, dumps it right in the middle. Thompson left all alone, and he beats Kirk.
It has been a majestic passing display by Stotts so far. The touch on that is absolutely perfect. Finding the open lane, and Thompson delivers for his 18th of the year. Amazing how they've recovered from that, as you say, collective breakdown on the whole goal, non-goal situation.
That's a fantastic point, because that's something that could go in the other direction. It was down to a 2-goal game, and the Swarm responded with 3 in a row.
Biggest lead of the night.
You mentioned Lyle Thompson with his 18th, now 44 points on the season. And Lyle living up to that #1 overall pick status so far in 2016. Yeah.
The lineup is just so full of top 5 overall picks. It's incredible. And again, these things take time to grow and mature, and you're seeing it now.
And all the while, there's 8 left to shoot, and here comes Rannigan diving in the middle, and a save from McDonald, and well timed there. I was going to say, between all the action of all the scoring, don't forget Brody McDonald. I mean, outside of letting in the goal in transition, it's been fantastic.
It really has. And the one that they needed to capitalize on being a team that doesn't give up a lot of shots against. So now you're starting to see the benefits pay off for that.
And Miles Thompson does it.
Another pass for Stotts.
Randy Stotts got to be saying, look, I keep hitting posts, I keep hitting crossbars. I may as well assist on 6 of the 9 goals so far tonight.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Picks another Thompson and Miles to get this one done. And again, that's just perfect execution in tight. I love what we're seeing here.
Evan Kirk has been beat over his left shoulder, probably on 5 of the 9 goals so far tonight. So both the Thompson brothers getting involved. Shane Jackson has a hat trick. It has been all Swarm.
There's still 5.5 to go in the quarter.
Yeah, they have a 6-goal lead. Now, listen, we are enjoying this, obviously, as are all Swarm fans. There's a lot of game left.
I referenced it briefly earlier, the fact that there were 2 wins last weekend for this New England team, an expected one against Toronto. Here we go.
And now we're going to get a scrum between Bill O'Brien, and that looks like it is Jordan McIntosh. Yeah, and they're still going at it. After the low shot from Miles Thompson, those two just went right against the boards and started pushing and shoving, dropped the sticks and the gloves, and they're still jawing at each other.
McIntosh looks like he's been cut open bad.
Yep, McIntosh's eye has been cut. And now he's going to have to go to the locker room.
Yeah, he will. Well, but this is the kind of fight that you would expect from New England.
There's a cross-check and a shove, and Bill O'Brien dropped the gloves immediately. And McIntosh got the raw end of the deal as he kind of got cheap-shotted from behind. And the officials had to separate the 2 of them. We talked about this earlier. The Swarm do not want to get involved in this. Is not the game where they want to get involved in throwing punches and moving. They're playing so well. New England, all they're trying to do is get them off their offensive game and get them out of their rhythm. And this is not a...
Penalties on the play. New England, number 96. 2 minutes, illegal body check. 5 minutes for roughing. Georgia, number 24. 5 minutes, roughing.
All right, so after that, the Swarm will get a 2-minute power play here out of the whole thing.
And the thing is, yes, we were in agreement earlier about not getting too involved in extracurriculars, but when it's your captain, when you're giving up 35 pounds and 3 inches to O'Brien on that play, there does come a time when it's like, look, we're not going to be bullied just because we are who we are. We're young, we're not experienced, we're not playing this type of game. And because it is a 6-goal lead, which speaks more to the point, because when we were talking about it earlier, it wasn't the case. And hey, good on the captain for being able to draw an extra 2 out of it as well. So it's a situation that I think they're going to appreciate in the end.
Well, if the Swarm really want to pay it back, now's the time to do it and put a ball in the back of the net and make it a 7-goal lead, as they have the man advantage. Their power play has been successful tonight. And Thompson hit the post, and it almost rolled back in.
Stotts tried to get that rebound, but it didn't roll out of the crease quick enough.
And so we are going to get a timeout. And the Swarm will come back on the power play. They have a 6-goal lead. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on Fox Sports Southeast.
My little brother's birthday is today. I have an idea.
Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our app, go online to westernunion.com, or visit one of over 51,000 agent locations today.
That was easy.
This is moving money for better.
Get ready to enter the hive.
Saturday, April 30th is Fan Appreciation Night at Infinite Energy Arena as the Swarm wrap up their regular season against Vancouver. Catch the last game of the Swarm's inaugural season, then join the players on the field for autographs and photos. Tickets available at georgiaswarm.com.
Monetize for a goal!
Powered by Harris Cherokee Casino, Georgia Swarm Professional Lacrosse. You'll feel the buzz long after the final buzzer.
The Georgia Swarm and their fans enjoying what is a 6-goal lead for the Swarm, as the Hive tonight buzzing. It's Hawaiian night. Lots of fans here on hand to catch the Swarm, and they have been treated to an offensive onslaught so far through almost the first 2 quarters, as we're under 5 minutes left in the second.
A lot of big point producers. The 6-assist night for Stotts, the 5-point night, including the hat trick for Jackson, and again, opportunity presenting itself here for the Swarm with the extra man.
They have 90 seconds left on the power play after the fighting between, or the roughing between McIntosh and Bill O'Brien, and O'Brien got an extra 2 minutes for, well, being Bill O'Brien. And so the Swarm will continue this power play here. Powers with a shot that is wide. Stotts on the rebound. Feed it back in the middle to Powers, and he lost the ball. And Jackson will get it back.
We got Ty Belanger in goal too there.
That's a good, very astute. Ty Belanger substituted in for Evan Kirk. Belanger just a 1-2 record on the year. And there is Lyle Thompson with the goal already on the evening. As Jesse King flips it behind his head to Powers, and a save by Belanger. And the ball's loose, picked up by Shane Jackson, and a fresh 30 here as we got 40 seconds left in the man advantage.
That's a huge break on a goal, on a ball that should have been covered by Belanger.
We'll see if Randy Stotts has any more luck against Belanger, and he does! See? All that had to happen was they had to change goaltenders, and he'd stop hitting the post.
He is perhaps a little smaller than Evan Kirk, so maybe there was just that little bit of room that Stotts needed to see. But again, he has been precision-like with everything he's been doing tonight. Now a 7-point game as Stotts works his way towards 30 as well.
6 different players have scored for the Swarm as they have a 7-goal lead, 10-3. As we have 3.5 left in the first quarter. It's just good to see him bury the ball because, as I mentioned, he had 3 different posts or crossbars, and he was giving everybody else the love as he watched all his teammates score, finally put one in the back of the net.
I just love the fact that they're aggressive here in offense again. There's no let up with a 7-goal cushion right now.
And again, all the focus has been on the offense, but credit to defense for how well they've played. Brody McDonald has been fantastic. You get a quick look at Ty Belanger in net. And Crowley beats Brody right over his right shoulder. That was an excellent pass, and Crowley went back to the short side there. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Kyle Buchanan, rather.
Yeah, and he really had McDonald moving.
McDonald moving to his left and shot it over to his right.
It's so hard because, you'd like, if you're Brody, to be able to hold that ground a little bit, but the quick movement pulled him up and really gave him almost half the net to deposit that into.
Buchanan, no stranger to scoring 45 points in the year. That's his 23rd of the season. So it's back to a 6-goal game. And we'll see how the Swarm handle.
Well, you got to take long possessions, full possessions, I should say here. And again, it's not taking a foot off, but it's playing the game that you're capable of. High stick, no.
Stott's getting banged around. So. Passes it off to Jackson.
Got a delayed penalty.
And a delayed penalty call. Now we're going to get some extracurricular activity as Thompson is getting shoved around by Suddens. You can see Suddens continuing to try to frustrate him.
This is a great sign if you're the Swarm, because again, New England should be buoyed by the fact they just scored. Not the case the way they just went all out on the assault on defense there and immediately took a penalty.
And it was off camera a little bit, but Suddens continually jabbed at Miles Thompson, trying to draw him into doing something. And we'll get Ian Garrison to give us the penalty.
New England, number 4, 2-minute slash.
And call the slash
on Stephen Hoare,
which is a break, because I thought I saw a little bit in the way of high stick, which would have been a 5.
And you can see Suddens just, that's a shoulder area cross check, which is illegal. And he's just continually trying to bait Miles Thompson into getting back at him. And smartly, Miles said, no, not going to play the game as we approach 2 minutes left. And the Swarm back on the power play. And Georgia's done the wise thing. They're content to let their scoring do all the talking so far this evening.
Good break there to go off. Well, not now.
Not now, as you mentioned. And then quickly coming out in transition again is Sheldon Burns. And here's Manny. Manny going towards the goal, matched up against Krepensek. So here comes Brannigan, and you can see that they are trying to score. That's as much as an offensive possession shorthanded as you can get right there when they're down by 6 goals.
Just over a minute to go in this power play. They're 4 for 6, Georgia is already, and the 4 is great. The 6, the 7th man down situation, that is really troubling if you're New England right now. That is undisciplined all the way around.
Belanger just got a piece of that off his shoulder on the shot by Powers. And now Dan Ball coming in, and Brody McDonald makes the save.
He's so quiet with those saves sometimes, you're not sure where it ends up.
So there's about 8-9 seconds difference between the game clock and the penalty. So the Swarm will have an opportunity here. Well, there's 15 left to shoot, so they're going to have to get a shot off before the end of the penalty. Stotts right there, back up the top to King. Looked like he was going to load up, gives it back to Stotts. Fed in the middle to Matisse, who scores! Not often you say Kyle Matisse with a hat trick.
Call him Kyle Mathrees. That's outstanding. And I tell you, he was at the front end of it tonight from an offensive standpoint. Again, right on the doorstep. There, a little different look, but still, just that awareness, turning of the hands, going back across the grain from a netminder standpoint.
And give the Swarm credit, not panicking as the shot clock was winding down, still willing to run their offense, not taking the quick shot, and making it work for them as they have a 7-goal lead instead of 11-4.
Well, Mark, the point I think you were making was the differential in the game clock. So it's okay, get it down there, know what you're going to be left with if it doesn't succeed. And I just thought their posture throughout that whole thing was really impressive. But that's that's kind of the way they've been all night. That's why they're up by 7.
And looks like Glenn Clark has called a timeout.
Yeah, try and get one last possession here, and we assume that Belanger will be back on the bench.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So Belanger hasn't really done much better than Evan Kirk has.
No, and I wouldn't even look at him in this situation. It's been offensive awareness, I think, making smart, if necessary, cross-floor passes, but I've really loved the ability for guys to find just enough quiet space inside to get those short passes many times from Stotts here tonight, and multiple players have benefited from that.
So coming out of the timeout, New England will have the ball, and you can see right there, that's Sean Ferris setting up the defense for the Swarm. And you'll see all the bruisers out there. There's Jason Noble, Chad Tutton, Joel White, Ethan O'Connor, and Mitch Belisle will be out on the floor as they're going to try to prevent the Black Wolves from scoring in the last 13 seconds. Shot clock is off. There's Jordan Hall. And the ball is loose in the corner. And a ball thrown towards the net, and the horn sounds.
That could have been disastrous for New England. They lost possession briefly there with enough time had it been picked clean by Georgia.
More extracurricular activity going on. Again, the Swarm wisely walking away from all this. With a 7-goal lead over the New England Black Wolves. It has been an offensive display for the Swarm so far. We'll come back with the first half stats and highlights. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on Fox Sports Southeast.
Welcome to NLL Halftime. I'm your host, Dave Walls. The regular season is winding down, so let's take a look at what's coming as we get closer to the playoffs. 3 weeks remain in the regular season, and teams are still fighting for those last few playoff berths. This season, 3 teams from each division will make the postseason, with the top seeds in both the East and West earning first-round byes. The second and third seeds, meanwhile, will play 1 game in the first round to determine who moves on to the divisional finals to face the top seed. In those divisional finals, it's a 2-game series with a 10-minute tiebreaker game played immediately following Game 2 if necessary to determine who moves on to the Champions Cup finals. In the finals, it's the best of the best going at it in a best-of-3 series to determine who takes home the coveted NLL Champions Cup. We've got a loaded Week 16 schedule. On Friday, New England travels to the Georgia Swarm, Buffalo's at Toronto, and Saskatchewan's at Colorado. On Saturday, 4 games on the slate as Toronto and Buffalo complete their home-and-home. Georgia travels to the Rochester Nighthawks. Colorado completes the home-and-home at the Saskell Center. And Calgary and Vancouver face each other in a must-win Western Division battle. Check the broadcast schedule at NLL.com for the games available in your area. That'll do it for NLL Halftime. But don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for highlights from last week's action from 120 Sports.
Time to recap the National Lacrosse League weekend here on 120 Sports. On Friday, the New England Black Wolves hosted the Saskatchewan Rush. The Black Wolves rallied from 7-1 down to score the final 4 goals of the game in a huge win, 14-13 over the defending champs. Kyle Buchanan led the way with 4 goals. The Black Wolves continued their strong weekend on Saturday, posting a 14-10 win over the Toronto Rock. Kevin Crowley and Pat Saunders had 3 goals apiece. The wins kept the pressure on the Buffalo Bandits, who were trying to hold on to first place. The Bandits hosted the Rochester Nighthawks on Saturday night. It was a close game with Cody Jamieson tying the score at 12 midway through the fourth quarter. Then with less than 2 minutes to play, Kevin Brownell gave the Bandits the lead, and they iced it moments later with an empty net goal for a 14-12 win. That makes them the first team in the East to clinch a playoff berth. Dane Smith had 5 goals and sets a new Bandits franchise record for points in a single season with 116. The Great Dane has 58 goals and 58 assists with 4 games remaining in the regular season. We head west to Calgary, where the Roughnecks reduced their magic number to 1 with a 16-12 win over the Vancouver Stealth. Curtis Dixon scored 4 goals to bring his season total to 56. Building on his record-breaking total for a single season in Roughnecks franchise history, the Roughnecks can clinch that last playoff spot with a win at Vancouver on Saturday. The lone game on Sunday ended with an upset as the Georgia Swarm handed the Colorado Mammoth their fourth loss of the season, 17-10. Shane Jackson and Randy Stotts led the way with 7 points. And that's the weekend that was in the National Lacrosse League. Their magic number to 1 with a 16-12 win over the Vancouver Stealth. Curtis Dixon scored 4 goals to bring his season total to 56, building on his record-breaking total for a single season in Roughnecks franchise history. The Roughnecks can clinch that last playoff spot with a win at Vancouver on Saturday. The lone game on Sunday ended with an upset as the Georgia Swarm handed the Colorado Mammoth their fourth loss of the season, 17-10. Shane Jackson and Randy Stotts led the way with 7 points. And that's the weekend that was in the National Lacrosse League.
Little brother's birthday is today. I have an idea.
Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our app, go online to westernunion.com, or visit one of over 51,000 agent locations today.
That was easy.
This is moving money for better.
Get ready to enter the hive.
Saturday, April 30th is Fan Appreciation Night at Infinite Energy Arena as the Swarm wrap up their regular season against Vancouver. Catch the last game of the Swarm's inaugural season, then join the players on the field for autographs and photos. Tickets available at georgiaswarm.com.
Monetize for a goal!
Powered by Harris Cherokee Casino, Georgia Swarm Professional Lacrosse. You'll feel the buzz long after the final buzzer.
Yes! 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 This is some of the best lacrosse on the planet right here at Mohegan Sun Arena. People say no sport on earth can match the intensity of indoor lacrosse. They call it the fastest game on 2 feet. Do I agree? Haha, what do you think? Say yes to savings with the New England Black Wolves. Tickets start at just $15 for pro indoor lacrosse at Mohegan Sun Arena. Yes, indeed!
Not many things can be achieved in no time with minimum effort and no sweat at all.
I know just the gift.
But Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our 4-star app, go online to westernunion.com, or visit one of our over 51,000 agent locations in the U.S. today. This is moving money for better.
You
This is a must-win game for the Swarm to keep their playoff chances alive, and they have come out with a sense of urgency tonight, picking up right where they left off in the game against Colorado, Brian.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of leaders along the way, and I think that's the beauty of it. And you will only advance as a team if you do games like this as a team, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing once again from the Swarm.
Randy Stotts has done it all tonight. In particular, 1 goal and 7 assists. In the 2 previous meetings, he had a total of 6 points combined. Tonight, he's got 8.
New career high for Stotts 4 times this year, 7 points in a game. He had already been leading the club in scoring, but now for the first time, 8 points, but in a half. So we'll see what the rest of the night holds. But when you start producing games like that, numbers like that, points per game like that, you immediately put yourself up in the upper tier of players in this NLL.
Stotts led all rookies in points coming into tonight and tied for 14th in the league in scoring, certainly increasing that with his offensive output so far this evening. And now, as we get set to start the second half, you see Jordan McIntosh and Ryan Hotaling about to take the face-off. But, Brian, the mental mindset of this team now, how do you finish off the last 30 minutes?
Well, it continued, I would say, strong offensive possessions, but keep the exact same pressure that we've seen from the likes of Belisle and Noble on D, especially as it pertains to handling Sean Evans.
As Kyle Buchanan, and a low shot and a goal. Not the start the Swarm wanted 15 seconds in.
No, and that was a terrific release from Buchanan. Might have had a little bit of a screen, I'm not sure.
It was Buchanan's 2nd goal of the night.
As McDonald didn't react to it as cleanly as you would expect him to.
So Buchanan now with 24 goals on the season. And it's funny that Buchanan scored, because the next thoughts out of my mouth were, you know, that guy Sean Evans, there's a reason why he's the 2nd leading scorer in the NLL and has 102 points this year. He gets his.
Oh yeah, he sure does. And what New England has got here is 2 quick possessions directly off the face-off. So McIntosh and company are going to have to be aware and better as this 3rd quarter rolls on.
Another low shot by the Black Wolves from Rannigan this time, and the Swarm get the rebound. And let's see if they continue that aggressive posture that they carried through the first 30 minutes. And here is Kyle Matisse in the corner, already with a hat trick tonight. Dumps it in the middle, and a save by Ty Belanger, who's still hanging on to the goaltending duties to start the second half.
Good look, though, again, inside.
And here is Kevin Bucktooth, or Brett Bucktooth, rather. Sean Evans at the top, dumps it back to Crowley. His shot is wide, and the long rebound comes out to Rannigan. Evans being double teamed against Noble, tries to throw a shot on net, goes wide, and a shot clock violation will give the ball back to the Swarm.
Yeah, some good work there by Crowley, though, allowing Evans to have that room with which to work. And you saw at the end there, Evans just softly released that ball. Didn't have much on it, but that's the touch that he possesses. You don't want to get him warmed up.
And Thompson brothers now working in. Matisse over to, looks like Shane Jackson. And now here comes Lyle Thompson, 5 left to shoot, throws it low and hard. And it is saved by Belanger and picked up by New England. Sheldon Burns working in the corner. And now feeds it out to Brett Manny. Manny gets it back, loses the ball, and picked up by Brody. Gives an outlet pass to Tutton. Dangerous there, as the Black Wolves had numbers.
Sure did. See what Tutton can do here in the second half. He was strong at times in the first.
15 left to shoot for the Swarm. Cutting in is Randy Stotts, and it's saved by Belanger. Ball is loose on the turf. Picked up by, well, Jackson had it for a moment, then loses it. Now it looks like we can get a cross check. And it was a violation, but it was Jackson getting hit hard. Swarm get the ball back in a fresh 30. King over to Miles Thompson, cutting in. Tries to dump it back, and the ball gets knocked loose. And now there's a scrum for it in front of the benches and picked up by New England. And here come the Georgia Swarm defensive unit. And Sean Evans got knocked down on the turf, and a delayed penalty coming against the Swarm. Looks like it'll go on Tutton, and Evans still hunched over. Crowley sends it across over to Saunders, who couldn't catch it, and then tries to do the same back to Crowley, who also couldn't catch it. Now it's giving it down low. Brody McDonald with the save. Rannigan with a low hard shot. Brody comes up with the save. And so now the Swarm will head to the penalty kill. And it was Tutton who kind of gave the business, if you will, to Sean Evans, who
does remain out there.
Georgia,
right?
number 44, 2 minutes illegal cross check.
might have been a little bit of an acting job by Sean Evans. He's been around this league long enough to know kind of what to sell and what not to sell, and he sold it.
You can see my tongue bleeding. I was biting it, wanting to say the exact same thing.
I'll say it, I don't worry about it. It's 11-5 lead for the Swarm as they head to the penalty kill. Now you're getting it at a crucial juncture, because you see how these things start to snowball very quickly as McDonald comes up with a foot save. And here's Evans sliding in, back to Crowley. Saunders dumps it in the middle for Buchanan, and it's missed. And Noble doing a good job on Evans, forcing him out of the offensive zone.
Another good stop by McDonald.
With another big save. Joe White picks up the rebound, and he's working his way around everybody, including his own teammates, to try to work his way. What a fantastic move by Joe White right there. That is persistence.
Oh, and again.
Still got it. Shot, score! Joe White said, I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody. I'm doing this one myself. Had to fight off defenders, bumped into his own man, cut through the defense.
Look at this move. Oh, the swim. That's beautiful. And then another one for good measure around Evans. Perfect bounce shot. That is a thing of beauty.
You know, Evans, for as great of a scorer as he is, that was very James Harden-like defense, who's also a great scorer in the NBA. Basically kind of did nothing. And Joe White took advantage.
Might still be feeling the effects of the collision with Tutton.
Just White's 5th goal of the year, and it brings it back to a 7-goal game. That's a shorthanded goal. That's huge.
2 shorthanded goals tonight to complement that power play that has been dynamite for a second straight week.
And Joe White just would not be denied. That was fantastic. And now the Swarm do a great job on defense, deflecting that shot wide. Buchanan with the rebound, sends it back up top. 4 left to shoot. And a laser from Evans is saved by McDonald.
Give it up for Belial again. That block in tight was him getting in the way.
Still 37 seconds left on the power play, so the Swarm still a man down. Now Matisse doing some fancy footwork, tries to find Thompson in transition, and they couldn't connect, but the Swarm get the ball back. 15 left to shoot. And we're under 30 seconds left on the man advantage, but the Swarm control the ball. And it looks like they're content to let this shot clock run out unless Lyle does something fancy, and he does, and a save by Belanger just as the shot clock was about to expire. And we are going to get a whistle.
Timeout here.
You can see Tutton was about to hop out of the box, but he's got 6 seconds left on the penalty as Joel White did the dirty work, giving the Swarm a 7-goal lead back. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on Fox Sports Southeast.
Yes! 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 This is some of the best lacrosse on the planet right here at Mohegan Sun Arena. People say no sport on earth can match the intensity of indoor lacrosse. They call it the fastest game on 2 feet. Do I agree? Haha, what do you think? Say yes to savings with the New England Black Wolves. Tickets start at just $15 for pro indoor lacrosse at Mohegan Sun Arena. Yes, indeed!
My little brother's birthday is today. I have an idea.
Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our app, go online to westernunion.com, or visit one of over 51,000 agent locations today.
That was easy.
This is moving money for better.
to Harris Cherokee Casino Field and the Infinite Energy Arena. Swarm have a 12-5 lead as they finish killing off this power play. Chad Tutton coming right out of the box, and the defense continues to be stout for the Swarm as they score a shorthanded goal, and Kevin Crowley gets double teamed. And Rosette Buchanan continuing to whack away at Chad Tutton.
And
Sean Evans, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Evans finally gets called. I was wondering how many he would get away with. And again, this is stuff they can't do.
And Ian Garrison will give us the explanation.
New England, number 15, 2 minutes slashing.
He took about five good solid whacks at Chad Tutton, who came out of the box, who just body checked.
And he also knows who he is and his stature in the league. He can probably get away with 3 of them, you know? Bad decision by Evans. Great opportunity again for the Swarm.
Swarm power play has been, to say it's been effective would be an understatement so far this evening.
Special teams all around, very good.
As we got 9 minutes left here in the third quarter. And starts with a shot that's deflected wide. Long rebound comes back out to him at a fresh 30. And it's King over to Palos, back to King in the corner to Thompson. That's Jackson, rather. And that was Thompson with the shot that went wide. And the Black Wolves are very aggressive on their shorthanded opportunities in the second quarter, given the fact that they did have a 7-goal deficit. Let's see if that continues. They've got all their big scorers out there now. There's Buchanan cutting in towards the net, trying to come around the double team, dumps it in. Brody with a nice save. And now the Black Wolves, as we almost get a turn. Brody has to run out of the net to pick up the possession. And then
No, they don't get it up in 8 seconds.
And so that's what happened. It was an 8-second violation. Got to get it over midfield in 8 seconds, and that violation gives the ball back to the New England Black Wolves.
I admired McDonald's hustle there, but I think he knew there was no chance he was going to get it up the floor in time.
Well, Buchanan gave him a nice little shove, and if Kyle Matisse stands over Buchanan quite tall, as Brody makes another save. Brody McDonald at 6'7", much bigger than Kyle Buchanan, who's 5'8".
Haven't seen a lot from Saunders, but that was a nice little touch he offered up there. Another save from McDonald.
Under 30 left in the power play, 18 left to shoot for the Swarm. This power play has been less stellar than others so far. See if they can turn one more scoring chance in. Paulus dumps over to Stotts, whose shot was wide and missed everything, and now a long shot from Paulus right on net and resets the shot clock. Still being fought for. Ball loose in the corner, being pushed up along the side of the boards, and finally picked up in New England. Long outlet pass to Sean Evans, who's all alone, and he misses.
I don't know whether he was pressured by King there or what, but that was a very un-Evans-like release.
Evans usually does not miss. You don't get 102 points by missing opportunities like that. And now another breakaway opportunity for the Black Wolves, and this one pulled up by Sheldon Burns. And here comes New England on offense as we have about 6.5 left in the third quarter, and a shot and a save from Brody. That was a great save. That was a hard shot, and just got a piece of it deflected over the net.
I'm not sure he picked it up right away. It seemed like a last-second reaction there with the shoulder, which we haven't seen him have to be in that position tonight.
Swarm on offense, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Shane Jackson working alone on the right side, trying to get in under 10 now. Matisse at the top flips it back. And here comes Paulus. Oh, that's Jordan McIntosh, rather, with a nice shot. He gets banged around. Still a 12-5 lead for the Swarm, who controlled the first 30 minutes. And here in the second half, it's been a little bit more balanced. Another save from McDonald. Boy, he's been fantastic.
A little bit more McDonald this quarter. That's what we're seeing.
And I'll tell you, don't underscore how important it is for McDonald to continue to make saves, because the pace has slowed a little bit. And that almost favors New England at this point in time. Wow, Thompson with some fancy footwork. Goal is disallowed as his foot was in the crease, and Thompson is telling his coach to throw the flag.
Ooh. I don't know if I would at this point in time.
Well, he's only, just like the NFL, you get 2 challenges.
Right.
If you get them both right, you get a third one. Ed Como's already got 1 wrong. I'm not sure he can afford to do another one. Especially with a 7-goal lead, probably not the wisest of decisions.
Exactly the point. I love the personal pride. I think every guy's got to believe that he was, right when it's real close. But I don't know if I would have thrown the flag on that one.
There comes Randy Stotts cutting in and then pulling back. 9 left to shoot. Cross court to Paulus, or cross field rather. I'm getting stuck in my basketball days here, Brian. As we get a shot clock violation, and Paulus trying to get baited into a fight and wisely not raising his arms. And he's pleading his case to the officials. How many times are you going to let him hit me? And it looks like it's Dan Ball who is going to head to the penalty box, as is Paulus. Now, look, I don't want to sound too much like a homer here. We'll let Ian Garrison give us the official word. But I didn't really see much retaliation from Paulus there.
I didn't either.
Still wait. Ian Garrison.
New England, number 39. Georgia, number 93. Both have 2 minutes dead ball fouls.
So the teams will remain at even strength. The score remains a 7-goal lead for the Swarm. We'll come back with the rest of the third quarter here on Fox Sports Southeast. Just make the case here real briefly, Brian. I didn't really see much retaliation from Paulus. I think it's one of those things where the officials will give them the matching penalties at the same time to not... Show favoritism is not even another word, as we get a huge save from Brody.
And another stick up from Evans on Noble.
But I just kind of felt like...
Yeah, I think it's more managing the game at this point, and to your point, so... Oh, and there's an embellishment, if you're asking me, but I'm not on the receiving end of it. So
Sheldon Burns takes a dive down to the turf, and Jesse King will take a walk to the penalty box.
Shaking his head, we might add. King, that is.
And let's take a quick look at this and see what happened.
Oh,
dear Lord, that's some good acting right there. Oh my God. Mentioned some of that NBA
Georgia number 19,
flopping.
5 minutes high stick.
And on top of it, it is a 5-minute variety. So the rules say that you cannot check to the shoulder, head, neck area. And King got it up a little bit high, and Burns sold it.
Yeah, he's walking off pretty well under his own power, and getting congratulations as he comes to the bench. So I have to assume that
the thumbs up to his teammates might have been a sign that there was a little bit of a sell job there.
Well, what you can only hope is that the squeaky wheel gets the grease here, and the complaints that are going to be rampant from the Swarm side will ultimately lead to, you know, some more infractions being called.
And Brody McDonald comes up with the first big save, and then Ethan O'Connor almost knocked it back in the net. Long outlet pass to Jordan McIntosh, and he has to slow down, and he'll wisely kill some time here. Now, in a 5-minute penalty variety, 2 goals can be scored before the man comes out of the box.
But he's got to serve the full 5, so you're losing the services of King for the full 5 regardless, and maybe a bit more, depending on when you get that next stoppage.
So right now the Swarm want to worry about as
great
Chad
job there.
Tutton, and then Chad Tutton gives Ty Belanger a little shot.
And you know, Mark, he took it right down to the 2-second mark on the shot clock too. It was really well executed by Tutton.
Now let's see how they do on the defensive end. And here is Sean Evans. Crowley across to Saunders. Already has 2 goals tonight. And then Brody comes up with a save off the Crowley shot. As we have 2.5 left in the 3rd quarter. Another save from McDonald on Sean Evans.
I'm not sure if that one about 15 seconds ago caught a little bit of the iron, but regardless, that's a great sequence for McDonald as he continues to look great.
So the Swarm now will just be content to kill some clock here. The scoring opportunity presents itself, they'll take it, but wisely, they'd rather control the ball as you get a bounce shot from Stotts and a save from Belanger, and then Stotts tried to get his own rebound. And you see the Swarm quickly back in the defensive zone. Evans pump fakes, gives it over Crowley. Got a $1:45 left in the 3rd quarter. Evans loading up, and then saved by McDonald. And the ball's loose in the rebounding. Buchanan threw it over his shoulder. Brody came up big again.
Just positioning. It's absolutely perfect.
Evans gets the ball back, tries to dump it in. Joel White blocks that shot. Jordan Hall picks up the rebound. 22 left to shoot. And there's a $1:18 left in the quarter. Then Crowley finally buries it. As we just get halfway through the 5-minute penalty with 2:29 left and a $1:10 left in the 3rd quarter, Kevin Crowley gets his first goal of the night.
Yeah, Saunders flip it back outside. Saunders has scored a couple early on here, but hasn't been the shot taker perhaps that we would have expected given his early success in this one, but never a bad option to give to Crowley, who's up to 30 on the year.
Yeah, 30th tally for him. 9th in the league in scoring with 77 points coming into tonight's game. So the Swarm still a man down, as it is a 12-6 game, and we're under a minute left in the 3rd. And Buchanan working his way towards the net. Crowley, Evans near the top of the offensive zone, tries to feed it in the corner to Saunders, bounces off the board. Saunders gets it back. Now Evans loads up for one. Shot was wide, bouncing off the back of the net and picked up by the Swarm in the crease. As we have about 35 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Here's Alex Krepensek going right into the offensive zone. And now it's Kyle Matisse. 15 left to shoot. And the Swarm look content. And I think wisely at this point in time to let this 3rd quarter run out, get your win, get a breather, and try to kill off the rest of the power play without any more damage.
Consider how the quarter started. Opening face-off win, immediate goal by New England. You're thinking, ooh, how do they navigate this? They did it pretty darn well this quarter.
And Evans with a long shot as the horn sounds, and that's exactly what the Swarm do. There'll be a minute 18 left on the penalty, but the Swarm have done their job here in the 3rd quarter, keeping this distance between themselves and the Black Wolves. It's a 12-6 lead for the Swarm. Headed to the final 15 here on Fox Sports Southeast.
Yes! 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 This is some of the best lacrosse on the planet right here at Mohegan Sun Arena. People say no sport on earth can match the intensity of indoor lacrosse. They call it the fastest game on 2 feet. Do I agree? Haha, what do you think? Say yes to savings with the New England Black Wolves. Tickets start at just $15 for pro indoor lacrosse at Mohegan Sun Arena. Yes, indeed.
Not many things can be achieved in no time with minimum effort and no sweat at all.
I know just the gift.
But Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our 4-star app. Go online to westernunion.com or visit one of our over 51,000 agent locations in the U.S. today. This is moving money for better.
Get ready to enter the hive.
Saturday, April 30th is Fan Appreciation Night at Infinite Energy Arena as the Swarm wrap up their regular season against Vancouver. Catch the last game of the Swarm's inaugural season, then join the players on the field for autographs and photos. Tickets available at georgiaswarm.com.
Monetize for a goal!
Powered by Harris Cherokee Casino, Georgia Swarm Professional Lacrosse. You'll feel the buzz long after the final buzzer.
This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League.
It is a 12-6 lead for the Georgia Swarm at the Harris Cherokee Casino Field and the Infinite Energy Arena. And Brian, the Swarm, although the pace is slowed, still controlling the game, and the stats backing that up.
Yeah, the face-off scenario that we talked about coming in have been almost even across the board, and we've definitely seen some really good plays offensively, like this one from Joel White.
Here is Joel White just doing all the work, banging into his own guys, and would not be denied as he shook off several defenders and continued just to hustle his way in right into the offensive zone and then beat Ty Belanger for a coast-to-coast goal. So Jordan McIntosh, Ryan Hodeling starting the fourth quarter off, and you know, the Swarm did a fantastic job last week against Colorado getting rid of their fourth quarter blues. They've blown several fourth quarter leads this year. They have a 6-goal lead here, and with a playoff spot on the line, you would expect that, especially after the win over Colorado last week, that they will they'll be very cognizant of that. You see the Black Wolves 0-3 when trailing after 3 quarters on the road. Another breakaway goal for the Swarm. And now the extracurricular activity continues in the crease as Joel White, who did that before, paid the price for it. And White sprinting through the defense and tried to beat Belanger, and then Belanger laid on top of him and waited for his teammates to jump on top of Joel White.
A little bit of time left in the kill here. Just 30 seconds left, so all in all, pretty good effort. Down on this 5-minute penalty.
And a huge save from Brody, and should the Swarm possess this ball, which they a little risky there at the beginning of it, they can kill off a 5-minute penalty with only giving up 1 goal, and that is huge. I mean, that is just a huge emotional lift for your team.
They were outscored 2-1 in the third quarter, but when the ratio is actually exact, only 2 goals to 1, you can live with that, especially with that cushion they built up. And it's now on the back of Brody McDonald and the penalty kill that they've allowed this game to be what it is.
And Jesse King walks free and clear of the box, and we are at even strength. Hats off, and Ed Como's got to be pleased with that penalty kill. And here is Sean Evans. I'm almost hesitant to say his name and how little of an impact he's had in the game.
Still too much time left for that.
And here is Saunders trying to cut inside, and the goal disallowed as they're going to say he was in the crease.
They're saying throw the flag.
And he does. Glenn Clark immediately chucks the flag right onto the turf. And so Ian Garrison will have a look at this one. Saunders You could tell he wanted that one on his own and wasn't going to allow anything else to stop him from trying to take a shot. And he beat Brody McDonald, but it's a question right there. Again, Ian Garrison, much similar to the disallowed goal earlier for the Swarm with Chad Tutton, was standing right in position to see it and waved it off immediately. So unless there is conclusive evidence in the other direction, we'd have to assume that this will stand a no goal. But again, Ian Garrison will take a look at it on the monitor. And it's the first challenge of the game for the New England Black Wolves.
First blush for me, I would have said crease for sure. Here's our first look on a replay as he's double teamed at the last second. Saunders is. Oh, he's in. He's in. Well, no. I shouldn't say that.
The ball was in the back of the net. I mean, and again, you can see on the right side of the screen, Ian Garrison immediately waving it off. But let's take a look. Now remember, as long as he leaves, is in the air, the ball's to be in the back of the net before he lands. He is clearly in the air. That ball's in the net. That's a goal. That ball's behind McDonald and over the line. As you can see, he's totally airborne, and now the ball pops up.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
I think it's in front of the line at that point.
Okay, thank you.
But I don't know. That's the problem. So
what was airborne? We'll take another look at the overhead. Will certainly help us out here. Tough, very tough.
Obviously, you have to marry the two.
I mean,
images at this point in time to know when the release is.
He was clear of the crease line when he shot it.
Well, when his follow through on the other one, by that point his foot is down, and at this point you can't tell if the ball is in.
Right, you can't tell from where. Brody looked like he got a little bit of a piece of it.
Yes, which slows it down,
which might be enough to.
Right.
The ball's still on his stick right now, as you can see. Ball's released. Not over the goal line yet. It's hard to tell when it actually gets over. It doesn't have to be in the back of the net. It just has to clear the goal line, that Brody is standing over. So we don't know from this angle when it gets past him compared to where Saunders may be as far as how close to the ground he is. But you guys, you said you have to marry the two images together. I'd hate to be, everybody sits there and second guesses officials. Sometimes I'd hate to be an official. Here's one more look at it this way. I think they're looking to see when Saunders hits the ground from this angle.
You're right about the positioning of the official.
I mean, he's right on it the whole time.
And he's got the best view because he's seeing it from when it sneaks to the back side of McDonald. None of the others, give you that view. He truly had the best view possible for this angle and this goal in quotations.
The question is that ball over the goal line right there? If it's over the goal line at this point in time, that's a goal. But it hits the back. Now he's hit the ground and the ball hits the back of the net. So
I'm thinking more to your original point. I'm thinking more goal at this point, but
it's just a question of right now before they're going to look at. I think that's what Ian Garrison is trying to figure out where. Because Brody's so big, like he can't, he's not allowing a clear angle. But I think Ian Garrison, being the guy who made the original no call without conclusive evidence, has to stand behind his own call. And Saunders, much like, remember back to the Chad Tutton goal, immediately signaled for it to throw the flag. And we get another look from behind the net. It's just hard to tell when that ball, it's a question of whether that ball is over the crease line or the goal line, rather, right there. Because he's airborne at that point in time.
Yeah.
Again, we see it go forward. If that ball had crossed the line while he's still in midair, that's a goal. But like you said, you look at the right side of the screen, you can see Ian Garrison walking in immediately.
Obviously, every player, especially when you're down by as much as New England is down, is going to believe in their own ability.
Ian Garrison's going to give us the official word here in a moment.
After review, the evidence is inconclusive. The ruling on the field stands, no goal.
And unfortunately, I don't say unfortunately, More unfortunately from the standpoint, as he said, it's inconclusive. You can look at every angle. Now he's going to give Glenn Clark the explanation, asking what he saw, what he couldn't see, and what he couldn't tell. And obviously Clark not happy with the decision, but I agree with the assessment that the evidence is inconclusive. The ruling on the field has to stand at that point in time. So the Swarm benefit, and they'll start with the ball on offense here. 13-10 left in this contest as they have a 6-goal lead. Here is Miles Thompson. And now Paulus, who's already got a pair tonight. Matisse back over to Stotts. Stotts 8 points on the evening so far. His shot is saved by Belanger. And then Miles Thompson hustles and gets the rebound and sends it back out to Matisse, who gets checked up on by Stephen Hoare. That was great teamwork right there to maintain the possession after that rebound.
Sure was. Stotts victim of a little off-ball foul there too.
And a long shot from Miles Thompson. Looked like he got slowed down as the back of his stick got hit.
Oh, good double team again.
That's a huge double team. Ball loose on the turf and then kicked into the crease. And the Swarm are going to get the ball. So it is a fresh 30 seconds, and the Swarm maintain the possession. And here is Paulus working around a defender, dumps it back in the middle, tries to get it over to Thompson, and he can't corral the pass. And here is Bill O'Brien, and once again another violation. He's going to give the Swarm the ball back.
Well, it's funny how it starts to even out, if you will.
And right there, Jesse King just missed the net. And now we're going to get a penalty on the New England Black Wolves. Sean Evans, it looks like with the double cross-check of Jesse King right into the boards. And Evans not happy about the call. Am I seeing who that is correctly or not? Numbers are very hard to read for New England. Nope, that is McNamara. Yep, Mike McNamara, who kind of just...
New England penalty number 58, 2 minutes, elbowing.
But what a frustrating sequence for New England. A couple of technical violations and then the penalty after the fact here.
And there's the elbow right there.
Yeah.
Clearly right in front of the official. Just a dumb move by McNamara. So the Swarm will head back to the power play. And they can kind of take control back. I know it's a 6-goal lead. What a save right there by Belanger on the Shane Jackson shot. He quickly came across that goal to get to his left.
Well, it's been a different energy level in this game for a while. You had the 5-minute penalty that you had to kill, then the lengthy delay for video review, so it doesn't seem like you've had any of those opportunities to really reestablish the offense.
And the second half has been much different than the first. It's just been more balanced on both sides, and a power play goal here would kind of give the Swarm and the fans in the Infinite Energy Arena a little buzz back, if you will. Yes, that was a pun intended. 11 minutes left in the contest. 12 left to shoot. And here is Stotts with a laser that's over the shoulder of Belanger. And a long rebound comes out to Stephen Hoare, who's racing in alone. Thompson tries to catch up to him, and he scores. So Stephen Hoare takes advantage of the long rebound, and Lyle Thompson could not catch him.
And it wasn't just a rebound, it went off a stick of New England that almost, pushed it, accelerated it forward, and it went almost directly into the stick of Hoare before he was even looking for it. And then the opportunity was just a clear lane of about 120 feet to go.
And Brody got beat on the short side, the stick side. And it's a 5-goal game now, 12-7. As the Swarm continue on this power play with under a minute left. And now scoring here almost seems imperative. And more than anything, you want to see that offensive flow start to come back.
There it is.
As Stott sends it over. And Jesse King, either his stick was deflected or he just got a bad release. Lyle over to Matisse with a low shot and a save by Belanger.
Suddens is really working over King on the far side.
Well, you get to a certain point when you're a team, if you can't beat them literally, and hope that they start to crack. And while the Swarm have done a great job maintaining their composure, it seems like that's New England's strategy at this point in time. They want to play that physical game and force the Swarm who have been very finesse-like, if you will, throughout this contest, to get off their game.
Look out.
Oh, and Johnny Paulus is all alone, and he scores!
Noble and Evans.
And down at the other end, Noble and Evans drop the gloves, drop the sticks, drop the helmets, and they're going at it. And both guys still on their feet. Lots of punches being thrown in a flurry. Noble gets shoved against the boards. Evans hits the deck, and now they'll break it up.
From the first shift, it's been going on between these two. And Evans obviously saw what was about to transpire, which was another goal against, and the two came together to settle it. What a battle these two have had.
Get the ball back, or get the 6-goal lead back, and you had to see Ty Bellandre sprinting it. He saw a man all alone, and a long pass coming out. Did everything he could to just get and step in front of it. And Paulus, who is bigger, taller, jumped up and got it, and then just spun around and had a wide open net. So in the box go Sean Evans and Jason Noble. And here's the goal from Paulus. Again, gives him his third and a hat trick. And then on the other end, it's Noble and Evans exchanging punches. And you can see Evans, that's a pure frustration fight. And so they're going to send, they got a lot of guys going in and out of the box right now.
There are too many on the floor and a lot of guys pointing every which way. I'll tell you what's more impressive about that goal, though, by Paulus is we talk about it all the time, the awareness that guys have, the eyes in the back of the head, if you will. I mean, that could have been a pretty violent collision, not unlike what we saw in Colorado a couple weeks back with Alexis Bouquet. This though, was Paulus standing up, absorbing a bit of the contact from Bellandre, and just turning and making the play. It was very impressive.
So Paulus joins Matisse and Jackson with a hat trick tonight. And while the game isn't over, there's still over 9.5 minutes left. If the Swarm were able to carbon copy a game from Colorado, they seem to have done that so far tonight.
Absolutely, and now, because this is exactly what you were looking for, was for them to somehow reassert the offense. They catch a huge break on an outlet pass and a gamble that didn't pay off for New England. Now the 6-goal cushion allows this to continue in the offensive zone.
Here's Lyle Thompson with a low shot off the post.
Timeout on the floor.
And we're going to get a timeout on the floor. And I'll tell you this much, Brian. The Swarm can't get caught up in this physical stuff. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's a 7-goal lead for the Swarm. 6-goal lead, rather. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on Fox Sports Southeast. Try to be very chippy over these last 9+ minutes and try to draw the Swarm into draw the Swarm into a match that they don't need to get involved in. So Ed Como's got to be telling his guys to keep their composure.
Yeah, and from New England's standpoint, they're going to get Georgia again on the 23rd. So they're just prepping for the next head-to-head meeting. And yet, as we know in this game, no one's ever out of it.
And here come the Black Wolves out on offense. 17 left to shoot. Here's Jordan Hall. Tries to dump in the middle. Pass is deflected. Ball loose on the turf. And Mitch Belisle fighting for it. He gets checked right to the turf. That was a hard hit. Belisle gets up and hits right to the bench, but the Swarm get the ball most importantly. And David Earl flips it over to Lyle Thompson.
Swarm have done such a great job limiting the shots against. It's 46-36. That 36 is a real low number against a team like New England.
And Stott's cutting through, and he scores! Try to be very chippy over these last 9+ minutes and try to draw the Swarm into a match that they don't need to get involved in. So Ed Como's got to be telling his guys to keep their composure.
Yeah, and from New England's standpoint, they're going to get Georgia again on the 23rd. So they're just prepping for the next head-to-head meeting. And yet, as we know in this game, no one's ever out of it.
And here come the Black Wolves out on offense. 17 left to shoot. Here's Jordan Hall. Tries to dump in the middle. Pass is deflected. Ball loose on the turf. And Mitch Belisle fighting for it. He gets checked right to the turf. That was a hard hit. Belisle gets up and hits right to the bench, but the Swarm get the ball most importantly. And David Earl flips it over to Lyle Thompson.
Swarm have done such a great job limiting the shots against. It's 46-36. That 36 is a real low number against a team like New England.
And Stott's cutting through, and he scores!
These guys come into this league, though, with such pedigree from wherever they've played. And that's the thing. It's only a matter of time before all of their customary instincts kick in. And you're seeing it from Stotts again here tonight.
Stotts with a feed in the middle of Miles Thompson, who missed it.
Look at
now
that
Miles
pass.
Thompson gets it back and a save. And then his brother Lyle picks up the rebound. 7 minutes left and a 7-goal lead for the Swarm.
How many times tonight have we seen extended possessions like this, though? So good.
And Lyle Thompson buries it. Brotherly connection, doing it right there from Miles to Lyle.
And it is a massive lead now as time winds down in quarter number 4. Perfect again. And again, it's the ability to create the space. The passing does that ahead of that final opportunity for shot selection. And all over the top of the crease has been the Swarm tonight.
15-7 now. The lead for the Swarm as we're under 7 minutes left. And now you have to believe for Glenn Clark's team that the clock is the biggest enemy.
Yeah, and you see Belanger already trying to look over to the bench and say, guys, we're in dire need of some extended possessions at 6-on-5, but nobody waved them over yet.
7 left to shoot for New England, and their best goal scorer still in the penalty box is Sean Evans.
Yeah, Evans quietly has 4 points on the 7 goals, but again, I give so much credit to the defensive unit. That's something Ed Como talked about before the game. He said, look, we don't have that one guy necessarily that is the be-all, end-all physical force. If we're going to defend Evans well, we can't let him get the easy points, and it's going to have to be done by a group, and it absolutely has tonight.
Under 6 left to play. Here is Randy Stotts coming around the screen. Dumps it right back to Matisse, who's already got a hat trick tonight. Almost added one right there. And the Swarm get the rebound. I mean, it's not a kept stat in the league, rebounds, but if it was tonight, the Swarm would be dominating.
I can't imagine how many times we've seen 2 and 3 possessions. At least, and there's a high stick on King, but no call.
And no call, and King is down on the turf. And doesn't even go to grab his stick, he just walks to the bench. And now a long outlet pass in transition to Chad Tutton, who works his way in, loads up for a shot, and the down low one on the other side is saved by Belanger. Now we're going to get a whistle, and McNamara and Tutton pushing back and forth, and McNamara's going to head back to the box.
For a slash, I believe.
And Shane Jackson gives Sheldon Burns a little extra shove.
Yeah, he got slapped right across the mask. That's the non-call where King went down. Yep.
New England penalty number 58, 2-minute slash.
As you can see, King getting checked out by the trainer. So the Swarm go back to the power play. And now it's about control here, Brian.
Well, it's certainly been their forte tonight. And given New England's reluctance to pull the goalie on that last offensive sequence, I kind of feel like we're just, you know.
Counting down the clock as Lyle Thompson does it again. And Lyle Thompson joins Shane Jackson, Kyle Matisse, and Johnny Powers, all with hat tricks tonight.
After a handful of points against the Mammoth, up to 6 now in this one, this has really been the exact picture of balance that we spoke of to open things up tonight.
Largest lead of the night for the Swarm at 9.
How about the power play?
Unreal. I mean, we're at a point right now. Play all the seniors. Play them all.
They don't have many in this. I mean, by definition, you'd be looking at throwing out Belial for a while, and
right.
Your captain,
Kevin Crowley, just hit the post. And again, Sean Evans still sitting in the box, and Brody with another big save. It's amazing against a team like New England. For all the accolades we're giving the offense tonight, you can't underscore how important Brody McCollum has been.
No, and it's more big picture. I mean, yes, you have to have the small sample size that we're seeing in the sequences that New England has had, but to have back-to-back games against teams more than capable, keeping them 10 and under, as we spoke of, these are major benchmarks in a season that you hopefully see ending with great success.
I got to tell you, you know, after watching every Swarm game this year, these last 2 games that they have played have by far been the best 2 that they've played all season long. And when you talk about a team that is in crunch time and needs to play its best lacrosse, they have done that over the last 2 games. They hold a 9-goal lead, 3:42 left to play here at the Infinite Energy Arena. This is Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on Fox Sports Southeast.
My little brother's birthday is today. I have an idea.
Western Union makes sending money across the country easy. Download our app, go online to westernunion.com, or visit one of over 51,000 agent locations today.
That was easy.
This is moving money for better.
Ready to enter the hive.
Saturday, April 30th is Fan Appreciation Night at Infinite Energy Arena as the Swarm wrap up their regular season against Vancouver. Catch the last game of the Swarm's inaugural season, then join the players on the field for autographs and photos. Tickets available at georgiaswarm.com.
Matisse for a goal!
Powered by Harris Cherokee Casino, Georgia Swarm Professional Lacrosse. You'll feel the buzz long after the final buzzer.
No, he's never one to get too far ahead of himself, but there was a sense of pride, I think, coming from him before the game tonight, just as to what he's seen from the group and its growth.
Well, I think part of it is that this is a lot of what he expected from this team for a better part of the year. He knew this type of play was there.
And look, the last or the the game in which they fell 16-50, if that flips around, the Swarm would have been 5-4, New England would have been 4-3, and you're talking about a different story. But it's been a long road back.
And Brody gives up a low one right there, but in the big grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. It looks like it was Sean Evans who still got a lot to say. So Evans gets his second tally of the night, making it 16-8. Listen, you got to give the Swarm credit for how they've held him in check tonight. Now, granted, he spent some time in the penalty box, but for a guy who's an elite scorer the way he is, they've done a great job.
And that's the thing. That's a long-range shot, but it's still deadly effective from Evans, clearly. But they haven't allowed him to be in that position to do it. It's been such a tight effort, especially from Noble on him.
And Noble's done a great job just body checking him all night long. McDonald with another save. And Jordan Hall finally corrals a rebound, but he gets checked. Balls back loose on the turf. Crowley gets it, flips in the middle, and the Swarm finally come up with it. And Krepicek with a violation. It's going to be a
jump off the bench a little quick. Yep.
Penalty on the Swarm here.
Georgia bench minor, illegal substitution.
So Kyle Matisse will serve the penalty as the in-home player. So the Swarm will head to the penalty kill. 2:45 left. And we'll see if the Black Wolves decide to pull Ty Belanger, but it looks like they're not going to. Down by 8. Swarm penalty kill has been fantastic tonight.
Good D there.
McDonald with another save, long rebound, chased by Belanger, given to Crowley.
A couple shorthanded goals tonight by the Swarm.
And McDonald with another save. And it's got to be a confidence booster for him for how well he's played over the last 2 games. And even, you know, the confidence permeates not only to the rest of the guys on the team and on the bench, but to head coach Ed Como as Crowley with a laser that beats him. Now, statistically, this is going to look different, but Brody McDonald's been phenomenal all night long.
Well, I think, again, what Como is most happy with his group, and that, you know, is not just Ed saying this, it's assistant coaches Sean Ferris and Blaine Harrison as well. When you're doing a really effective job in limiting the opponent's shots against, I mean, it's 57-39 right now, the shots for and against, you know, from a Swarm perspective, you should be winning more of these games, and the way you defend in front of your netminder plays a large role in that. I think it's collectively been one of the best we've seen, obviously.
You mentioned the 57 shots. Don't forget the Swarm had 36 at halftime.
Yeah.
So they dominated for the first 30 minutes and kind of allowed themselves to be, for lack of a better term, in cruise control for this second half. They haven't really had to do much work. And another thing let's not forget about, good to see them again not succumbing to a fourth quarter situation and being able to take control in the final 15 minutes, something that Ed Como has desperately tried to get this young group of guys to figure out.
Yeah, he had a unique approach, didn't he, against Colorado by taking the guys in off the bench at the end of the third quarter and just resetting, so to speak. And he said they needed it, but he said sometimes, you know, we come out at the half and we're fine. So I just wanted to kind of recreate that moment a little bit for them, give them a real brief talking to last week. It worked, and it continues to work.
Under a minute left to play, so the Swarm will get a much-needed win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And these two teams will meet again one more time here in the regular season as Brody comes up with another save. I'll tell you, this game is going to end up 16-9, or there's 30 seconds left. They may score here, but that score is going to look, it's not going to be indicative of how much better the Swarm played than New England did tonight.
No, but against 2 top-level teams in consecutive games, you're winning by a margin of 7 in what is so often a 1 to 2 goal game league. That might be the biggest sign of team growth.
And the Swarm will let the final couple of seconds run out and will get the victory here tonight. Back-to-back victories at the Infinite Energy Arena as they defeat the New England Black Wolves 16-9.
Ed Como has to be so thrilled with this group that is now in a position to keep the pedal down, both offensively and defensively, because now the buy-in is complete from an understanding of what you can do against some of the game's elite shooters. And in consecutive weeks with a goaltender like Brodie McDonald playing as well as he is, I believe the opportunity that has now presented itself for the Swarm is indeed a big one.